Yo, what's up, guys? We are back with another episode of Ace Attorney, Miles Edgeworth Investigations. Or it should just be Edgeworth Investigations. Anyway, last episode we were left off with a contradiction somewhere in this picture. And maybe some of you guys found out where it was, maybe you didn't. But, it is, again, another bullet hole, just like the first episode. Whoa. Okay, so you deduce it. Sorry, almost forgetting. Is this the spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? And we want to present the crime scene notes. This is clearly a contradiction with this bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. But what if the guy shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. Then that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means that you need to use your brain every once in a while, instead of minds, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. Alright, so the assumption that they made, faulty assumption that they made, was the order of the files. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean that I put them in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Oh? Yeah, you see how the files here were shot begin with the number 0? What are they doing all in way down here there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this we know that the files were not in this order when the crimes were committed. Aha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, detective. Let's rearrange these files in numerical order and see what we find out. Do you think it could be okay to bring the body back up to how it was before it was moved? They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is not now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith, and then he put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. Exactly. And then proceeded to shoot the victim. But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. But why? Now that the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Whoa. Time to get another look. Alright guys, so I know you guys see this big missing gap right here. They kinda hide in the corner, but we can't do this. What is this? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood? I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of a criminal activity indeed. No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, say something, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? Alright, investigation complete. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And the most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words. They're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it. Alright, so this is gonna be the, what do we call it? It's more of a argumentative thing right here. And you get to rebuttal and all this stuff. This is the interesting. This is when stuff starts to get real. Alright, I'm gonna skip some of this dialogue right here. Because they want to try to give people a tutorial. I don't need it. Because I played the game. Alright, here we go. Argument. This is his logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters the body was hiding. And it will be by these final words that you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Alright, so let's see if I can remember this. Okay, it's when you move Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. Furthermore, you made it okay. Maybe this? With this? Let's try that. Okay, that's right. When the music stops, that means you've done something right. Perhaps you're not aware of this, Mr. Portman, but there is a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but to find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing files? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portman? Nothing. The files on the shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the files after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spine. It's possible that they could have taken the files before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious the files were stolen after it was written on. The missing letters and detective names where the files should be as proof. Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own names written in blood on the files, especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Which means, what exactly? What does that mean? His dying message. It makes it the work of criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low. I can't believe the criminal trying to pin this whole thing on me, sir. We're gonna get him, sir. You'll see. We're gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portman. Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate your praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some, you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But you know, logic is really a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time? You still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to the second office? Who has the second key to the office? That would be me. But Miss Edgeworth just proved that I am innocent, pal. Oh. That is absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? Well, I was thinking, did you know that there's one other person with the key to this office? One other person. Hey, you there? Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely lady here for me? A lady? This girl is a member of the building security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal, don't. What's wrong with him? All of a sudden. Alright, I can't do girl voices, so we're just gonna get a regular voice for her. I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Detective Gumshoe, sir? That's about as close as you guys are gonna get. Maggie. Miss Bird is a security guard on watch tonight. I see, and what is your point? My point is that she could have very well used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. What? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room. That's right. I refuse to believe Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right, I did it. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you have no problem with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, for one simple reason. Alright, so this is this man's logic. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying that she used the master key? Alright, so master key was added to evidence. Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there is anyone other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portman to give me more details is to press him. Alright. So we have to press his statements. Okay, let me try to remember which one that you don't get any penalty for pressing statements. Usually. Alright, so I'm gonna press this one. Don't you think it's a bit too early to jump to conclusions? Are you saying that there's another way to open the door other than the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else. I'll have you know I've never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. I guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. Okay. Let's try this one maybe? Are you sure that Maggie Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person in the staff there. I think you just have to press all of them, to be honest. That's true, but it wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to. What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? Definitely. Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. Killer must have stole it. Mr. Portman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be so taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't know. It just reappeared all of a sudden. Ha! A likely story. And where's your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot to put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal, trust me. You don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive, didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portman says, Detective. I can't ignore the facts that all the evidence points toward the motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Alright, so it's pretty obvious what this one is. Because only the prosecutors know about the safe. So she would know. So she wouldn't have known to check it. Uh-oh, he done wagged the fingers. It's over with, man. Do you wish to continue to insist? Wow. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelves and safe were targeted. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. That means that there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. That was a pretty good voice. You can't. Come on, guys. Give me props for that. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses. Why? What made you? What's with the anger face all of a sudden? It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret saves. What did you just say? We were like partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's what I told him. I filled him in on the secret saves. Then that means, yeah, I know. I had only just told him too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you, Miss Maggie Bird? Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard. That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do anything like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to his office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Pretty impossible for the supposed stolen key to be here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way that everything else to make sense. He has no honor. Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. I thought Gumshoe was assigned to this as well. Alright. You are all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir, we have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourself from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear? Alright guys, so we've reached the save point. And I'm going to end the episode here. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we will pick up on the next part.